Welcome back to Sports Done Right. The 2025 NFL season is over, which means it's time to hand out some awards. Why not? Everyone else is doing it. I might as well do it too. So this is the first ever Sports Done Right NFL awards. I've got 10 awards that we're going to be handing out, and we're going to start off with the all-important MVP award. But first, if you don't know who I am or where you're at, Kibo, let them know.
So if you love the game and you want to hate less, and you sick and tired of only listening to Skip Bayless, you know we got to keep it hype. This is Sports Done Right. Let's go.
As of this recording, the Rams-Bears game and the Patriots-Texans game have yet to kick off, and I would love to see the Rams and Patriots win out, make it to the Super Bowl, and then we can get Matthew Stafford versus Drake May, mano a mano for all the marbles. Let's find out who the real MVP is in the Super Bowl. That would be an incredible way to settle this. It'll be a great story nonetheless, regardless of who wins the MVP or if either of those guys make it to the Super Bowl. But I would just love to see that matchup. Your 2025 Sports Done Right NFL MVP is Matthew Stafford. Now this is very much a two-horse race. All year long it felt like it was just Stafford versus May, which one of them's going to get it. And at this point, you've heard the arguments for both sides. You could say that Matthew Stafford was just padding stats with 1-yard touchdown passes to Davante Adams, and you could say that Drake May and the Patriots played the easiest schedule probably in NFL history. I mean, my God, what was this schedule? Were you guys playing in the AFC East or the Big East? What is this Notre Dame cupcake schedule? It's a joke. Me personally, I take nothing away from Drake May. He had an incredible year, like I said. But he did not play nearly as good of a defenses as Matthew Stafford did. Matthew Stafford, in his own division alone, had to go up against the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. That's already better competition than Drake May played all year. And then you've got the people that are saying the 1-yard touchdown passes to Davante Adams. Okay, Matthew Stafford had 8 1-yard touchdown passes on the year. Drake May had 3. You take away those 8-yard touchdown passes, Matthew Stafford still has more touchdown passes. Matthew Stafford had way more touchdowns than Drake May this year in general. And you can say, well, Drake May's a dual threat quarterback. All right, Drake, I'll give you that. So I'll spot you your rushing touchdowns. You still have fewer touchdowns than Matthew Stafford. And you could say he has Puka Nacua and Davante Adams, 2 of the best receivers in the NFL. Well, Drake May's got Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is a superstar in his own right. So let's even the playing field even more. Let's take away Puka Nacua, the league leader in receptions this year. Let's take him out of the equation. Stafford has Adams. May has Diggs. You take Nacua out. You take his touchdowns away. He still has more touchdowns than Drake May. And that is with me giving Drake May his rushing touchdowns. Like, at the end of the day, you cannot ignore 46 touchdowns. And these were not empty stats. Like I said, he's playing against way better competition than Drake May is. So I think this is the year that Matthew Stafford wins his first ever MVP award. But I do believe Drake May will be in this conversation for years to come. Up next, our Offensive Player of the Year award goes to Jackson Smith-Njigba. Now, this was a tough one to call because honorable mentions include Jonathan Taylor, who led the league in total touchdowns, Christian McCaffrey, who had over 2,100 total yards on the season, and was only a little over 70 receiving yards shy of becoming the first ever player with multiple seasons of 1,000 yards rushing and receiving. And then Puka Nacua was also in the running, but while I don't penalize Stafford for being able to throw to Nacua, I do penalize Nacua a little bit because he's got Davante Adams on the other side taking some of the pressure off him, and he's got Sean McVay calling plays and my MVP throwing the ball to him. It just feels like Jackson Smith-Njigba, with less around him, did more. And he led the league in receiving yards. Not only did Jackson Smith-Njigba lead the league in receiving yards, but his 1,793 yards were the 8th most in a single season, ever. And for a little while there, it did look like he had a chance at breaking the record. But still finishing top 10 is an incredible feat. And he did finish with the same number of receiving touchdowns as Puka. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Teteroa McMillan. Now this was a tough one, because honestly I feel like there were more deserving candidates for this award than any other award on this list, except for possibly Coach of the Year, but we'll get to that. Now McMillan in Carolina did not have a lot around him to work with. Yes, I know Carolina made the playoffs, but they kind of made the playoffs by default. After having a historic number of rookie receivers reach 1,000 yards last season, McMillan was the only one to do it this season. Honorable mentions: Cam Ward, he started all 17 games. He looked impressive when he wasn't running for his life behind a terrible Tennessee offensive line. Jackson Dart had 24 total touchdowns in 14 games, and if he would have stayed healthy and played the whole season, he would have ran away with this award. Quinton Judkins, I believe, looked really impressive in limited action, but we're giving it to McMillan here. He led all rookies in receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, and was third in receptions. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Myles Garrett, and there is no surprise here. There's no honorable mentions here. Myles Garrett ran away with this award. He is the undisputed Defensive Player of the Year. He broke the single-season sack record set by Michael Strahan back in 2001. And while some people could say that Joe Burrow kind of laid down and gave him that sack, well, rewind, that's exactly how Strahan broke the record, because Brett Favre laid down and gave him the record-breaking sack. So as far as I'm concerned, fair game. And regardless of the validity of the sack, or if the quarterback gave himself up or not, Myles Garrett still got there. He still had to get through the offensive line every single time. And he's getting double teamed. He's getting triple teamed. He's getting everybody's best shot. And he's still in the backfield on almost every single play. It is an absolute privilege to watch this man play football. So congratulations to Myles Garrett and your historic 23 sacks. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to the 33rd overall pick in last year's draft, Carson Schwessinger. And I know some people are going to say, how could the Browns have the Defensive Player of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year when they only won 5 games? That's not the defense's fault. Cleveland's defense was lights out all year long. It was the offense that was extremely dysfunctional and cost them games. Honorable mentions include Nick Imanowari, who had 11 passes defensed on a Seattle defense that ranked number 1 in points allowed. James Pierce led rookies in sacks with 10.5, and Jalen Walker had 5.5 sacks. Schwessinger led all rookies in tackles with 156. And once again, I do not care if the Browns only won 5 games. They were 14th in points allowed and 3rd in passing yards allowed. Special Teams Player of the Year goes to Cam Little. Honorable mentions to Will Reichert, Chimere DK, and Brandon Aubrey. But I don't care if Cam Little didn't make the most field goals or have the best field goal percentage this year. He did something no kicker has ever done. He broke the NFL record for longest field goal of all time when he hit a 68-yarder against the Raiders. He also hit a 67-yarder against the Titans, so he has the longest and second longest field goals of all time, and he went 8 of 10 on kicks of 50 or more yards. The fact that he was not a Pro Bowler or All-Pro is just criminal. And all kickers in NFL history, not named Cam Little, are 0 of 22 on field goals of 67 or more yards. Cam is 2 of 2. He's in a league all his own. He deserves this award. This is not the Jaguar fandom in me coming out. He has literally done something that no one else has ever done. Coach of the Year goes to Liam Cohen, and once again, this is not the Jaguar fan in me. I truly believe that he earned this award, but this was the, if not hardest one to pick, then second hardest to pick, because Offensive Rookie of the Year was a jumbled mess. The honorable mentions do go to Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan, and Mike McDonald. What Ben Johnson did in Chicago was really impressive, and they're still in the playoffs as of this recording. Kyle Shanahan, to get 12 wins out of a team that was so injury-riddled, so just cursed with bad luck, and to still make it as far as they did, truly impressive. And the turnaround that Mike McDonald has done in Seattle, it looks like the Legion of Boom is back. They're back to their old winning ways from not too long ago, if we're being perfectly honest. And they won 14 games. It's really impressive. But Liam Cohen, again, he did something no one else has ever done. Liam Cohen, whose Jaguars went 13-4, won the AFC South with a division record of 5-1, and were 6th in points scored and 8th in points allowed, became the first team to win 12 or more games after winning only 4 the year before. He has the most wins by a first-time head coach, and they set a franchise record with 474 points scored. Also, on top of all that, he fixed Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, who has been just dogged by the media and called a bust for so many years now. He's finally looking like what we all thought he was going to be coming out of Clemson. He's finally showing us glimpses of that prince that was promised. He looks now, more so than ever, like a franchise quarterback worthy of the contract that he was given. So congratulations to the Jaguars. I do hope that they can keep the ball moving and maybe win a playoff game next year. But congratulations to all these coaches, because they all had incredible seasons. Unfortunately, there's only one award to go around. Comeback Player of the Year goes to Christian McCaffrey, because of course. Honorable mentions go to Dak Prescott. He led the league in pass completions following a hamstring injury. Trevor Lawrence, he had a career year following shoulder surgery last year. He had 29 passing touchdowns and 9 rushing touchdowns. And Aiden Hutchinson, 14.5 sacks coming off of a broken tibia and fibula. So glad to see all these guys back on the field and excelling. Christian McCaffrey, though, He suffered an Achilles injury in 2024, which was alarming because he's getting up there in age and he's already one of the most injury-prone players in the entire league. Surprisingly, though, he played all 17 games this year, and it started to become a running joke that as many injuries as San Francisco had to deal with and endure, Christian McCaffrey never got hurt. And the running joke was, each week they are sacrificing a player to the football gods to keep Christian McCaffrey healthy. But whatever they did, it worked because he carried them all the way to the playoffs. 311 carries, 1,202 yards, 10 touchdowns, 102 catches for 924 yards. He was 76 receiving yards away from being the first player with multiple 1K and 1K seasons. He had 2,126 all-purpose yards, 17 touchdowns. And for a player who is designated as injury-prone, for a player who everyone says just can never seem to stay healthy, has such bad luck with injuries, he led the league in touches. He touched the ball 413 times, more than any player in the NFL. So congratulations to McCaffrey for making it through all the way to the end of the season. Now this next award is one that I am calling the Damar Hamlin Feel-Good Story of the Year, and it is going to Phillip Rivers. If you don't know the Damar Hamlin story, then feel free to look it up real quick. So this is separate from Comeback Player of the Year, because this isn't about just, who came back and battled adversity and excelled on the field. This is the feel-good story. This is the one that gets the headlines that everyone wants to talk about. And Phillip Rivers is the feel-good story of the year. I mean, the fact that this man came back from being retired for 5 years. He was out of football for 5 years. He was coaching high school football. Then all the Colts quarterbacks get injured. Rivers comes back after 5 years away, puts the pads back on, gets back out there, and starts 3 games for the Colts before reaching the end of the season. The last time I saw Phillip Rivers on the field, he didn't have that beer belly, but he looked good for a guy who had been away for so long, and it was inspiring to see him be willing to put his body on the line like that. He threw for 544 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, had a passer rating of 80.2. And it was really good to see Phillip Rivers on the field one last time, even though it has now reset the clock for his Hall of Fame candidacy. He'll have to wait another 5 years because he was going to be eligible this year before he came back. But I think we're all okay with waiting a little longer to see him get that gold jacket. And our final award that we're handing out is one that I am calling the non-quarterback MVP award, because quarterbacks have monopolized the MVP award. And we all kind of let it happen. We always put the quarterback first. We always talk about the quarterbacks. They get the blame when the team loses. They get the glory when the team wins. They're the only position in football that gets judged by Super Bowls. We don't judge receivers by whether or not they won a Super Bowl, but we judge quarterbacks by whether or not they won a Super Bowl. So they're always the ones that get all the consideration when it comes to the MVP award. So the non-quarterback MVP award is an MVP award that I am awarding to either the offensive or defensive player of the year. This year, it's definitely going to Myles Garrett for that 23 sack season. He is our non-quarterback MVP of the year, most valuable player that doesn't throw the football. So these are my award winners. Please let me know in the comments what you agreed with, what you didn't agree with. If you have some ideas for awards we could do next year. If you want to call me an idiot because I didn't say Ashton Genty's name at all during this, or if you think Drake May definitely should win MVP over Matthew Stafford, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
So if you love the game and you wanna hate less, and you sick and tired of only listening to Skip Bayless, you know we gotta keep it hype. This is sports done right. Let's go.